Okay, welcome everyone to the Unseen Fist podcast, episode 2. Yeah, I am Alexander Boltbeam Studios Rodriguez, one-time regional champion with other one-time regional champions. First off, my permanent host, guest, whatever, Connor Petrozinski. Say hi.
I won Charlotte, and I should have won Indianapolis.
Okay, and we all know which event our guest won. Welcome here, Liam Soroka.
Hi, I'm Wilfred. I just won Portland.
Yep, Portland, pretty cool. Happy you won it. What's so good about the team you're using?
Oh, the team. I think Urshifu single strike is like really good into the format. It pressures Terra from a lot of things, and plus it hits really hard neutrally. Like I think Urshifu was my most brought mon, other than my like restricteds.
All right,
Okay,
and
that
what were those restricted as well as the supporting pieces around them?
Miraidon Lunala with like supporting cast of Whimsicott, Iron Hands, and Entei.
did Ante ever come?
So what made you
Entei did not come to any games because it's only there for like balance comps, and I fought no balance comps.
fire? Um, so Wilfred, what made you choose this team?
Well, it was like a week and a half before Portland. I was trying to cook up something with like Specs Terapagos, but I just couldn't.
Fraud.
So,
Fraud.
um, I just asked Kuhn, Kuhn, who is like top 8 Utrecht with the team, since I found it interesting and like kind of off meta, like anti-meta a little bit. So
Mm-hmm.
I just asked
Agreed.
for it and he gave it to me.
Yeah, very nice.
All right,
His run at the Utrecht was pretty incredible for the team, and I'm happy you're able to use it. It seems very good. I love Urshifu's single strike.
yeah. As someone who brought Urshifu single strict to Worlds, I feel like it is very good into these like restricted formats. It is able to pressure Terra on a lot of on both of the Callies, which is very important in this format. And like they can't even like protect or like intimidate around, which is pretty huge.
Yeah, it just turns Terra into a lot, like even Zamazenta, Miraidon, stuff like that. Pretty much most restricted, actually. Because it just, even with big neutral
And
damage,
if they
it
do
just does like
Terra,
70, 80.
if yeah, like even if they do Terra, they're taking like 50 from it still.
Yeah, which is a lot. Yeah, very good, man.
Yes.
Okay, so oh wait, yeah, I was gonna ask about why is Whimsicott there? Like, I get Tailwind, but I'm not sure if Tailwind's too good in this format. How do you feel about it?
I think Whimsicott was like it helps into like the tail room teams. Like I think for example, like my finals, it was Koraidon Lunala. It had both modes. So if I just did Whimsicott, it nullifies if they led like Koraidon Flutter Main, so I could click Tailwind, or if they led like Indeedee Lunala, I could click Light Screen. So it's like for both, kind to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So going into your run itself, are there any sets that you really want to talk about in specifics?
I mean, it's been a week since then, so like there's nothing like the only matches I notably remember are like um I think my top cut mainly, my top four against the Leland. I lost to Leland and Swiss, but after like thinking of some lines with Kuhn, he just said just lead Murad and Lunala and do big damage with them. And it worked because I won the game in like 6 minutes, the entire set in 6 minutes.
Wait, the
Fire.
entire Sen 6.
All
Oh my
right, and
god,
then
that's fast.
yeah.
Do
Game
you,
one, I KO'd both his Pokemon turn one with like Draco and Psychic, and then he canceled the battle. Then
wow, okay.
next game it lasted a little longer, but I was able to set up Trick Room and just sweep with Dark Ursh.
Darkers is a trick room
All
sweep
right.
move. It's not something I expected to hear today, but it worked. Did you like
you
prep
know,
into D-Clan or Karis during your time you had before finals because you had a lot of time?
Um, I kind of just asked Kuhn for lines into it. Both of them felt really solid. Declan was more favored towards me than Karis because Karis had CSR Pagos, which is scary.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely agree.
GSR Poggos is indeed scary.
Yeah, it's scary, and I don't believe Tropicals is good at all. Like, it puts on a lot of pressure once it's set up, but I don't like the fact you have to set it up, you know?
Yeah. We were talking about this last podcast about how it feels like you only get one restricted whenever you're running Terapagos because of how much support it needs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because, like, if you're
But
not running specs, then you basically, yeah, it's your only restricted.
yeah, because you have to run either Encore Disable or like Will-O-Wisp Pollen Puff on like your Shadow Rider. And you have to dedicate in Cinderella if you want to get the call lines start setting up. Then you need another redirection. It's just too much setup. It's just too much.
Mm-hmm, agreed. Okay,
So
so, oh, you can go.
we just finished talking about Wilfred and seniors, but let's talk about the Masters of Portland because whenever we recorded last podcast, Masters not done and the not out. So the first thing I want to point out is Kyogre had an insane weekend. Um, there were two in top four, and the team that ended up winning, Gavin Michaels, very cool take on Rain, ended up taking the entire weekend. So yeah,
Yeah, I feel like that team
Yeah.
is pretty interesting. Like, as you just said, we talked about it last time, but we both agreed that Kyogre Calyx Ice Rider was the better between that and Swordfish. Well, yeah, you're right. Horsefish is kind of just better right now, just because I feel like Kyogre Ice
Seahorse.
Rider because Ice Rider Kyogre just has more pins, you know. I feel like the main interesting thing about the team, besides like some of the movesets, like two attack Grimmsnarl, no protect Flutter is kind of weird. But the Basque Legion, how do you guys feel about the Basque Legion there? Because it seems a little off, but I think I like it.
Yeah, I
Uh,
think it's pretty cool.
I kind of like it. I'm someone who's always been big on Rain and Urshifu. I took it to UIC. I got finals with Indianapolis with it. Just the ability to say, "Hey, this is big physical type water damage. What are you gonna do about it?" is very very good. And Vasculation is just probably the most offensive, fast water type. It's more offensive than Urshifu, but it just can't hit the protect, right?
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
a
main
trade
thing.
off.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
another interesting thing about the top cut was every team had some sort of like spore mon, like Amoonguss and Brute Bonnet.
Yeah, during
That's
top eight,
and yeah,
yeah.
outside of like the top eight. So the top eight, we had Giovanni Kishka and Justin Wong both having, oh, and Zhejiang, both having, all three of them having Brute Bonnet, but then the rest of them, Lendwell, Montana Ma, Aaron Brock, Kerry Diortona, and Gavin Michaels all had a Moongus. So yeah, that makes you really think, huh, maybe Miraidon's not quite as bad as this metagame would have said, because, there is no Miraidon in top eight. How
I
do you
think
guys feel
people
about that?
just, I think people were just like thinking of dealing with Marion more offensively. You know, like I think they're almost kind of disrespecting Marion right now because of Marion's poor finish at what was the previous event? Milwaukee? Actually, no, not Milwaukee. What happened before?
No, Utrecht had also won. So
Okay, wait. I
I
think
think
I was
I think it
referring
just
to.
had two very dominant. It had two very dominant showings. We saw Miraidon at Utrecht having 53% usage.
Oh
So I
yeah,
feel
that
like
was
everyone was just
insane.
working way too hard to counter it. Working way too hard to counter it. So it's kind of like CSR last regulation.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a very good way to put it. Just the top restricted having the biggest target on its back. You know. Yeah, that's why the highest placing
Yeah.
Miraidon is like ninth. And it was with Groudon, so I don't
I was
even want
placing
to count
Miraidon's
that.
ninth was with Groudon. I want to look where that next highest one. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's 14th
I
with
feel
Ryan
like,
Haig, which Ryan Haig's
and
team
that's
is pretty normal.
that's Miraidon with a Moongus.
Oh wait, yeah, Miraidon with him. What is
Yeah.
bro doing?
Yeah, just some. I think everyone's just getting so deviously cooking with Maridon right now.
I think
Like, we're gonna touch on this later on the podcast, but there's some Maridon Lunala teams, Maridon Rillaboom teams floating around.
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
I
definitely.
think my take on the fall of Maridon is that I think its biggest flaw is actually its restricted pair. Since, like, for example, Arabega, it took advantage of Maridon mostly, but now like you have to split it between both restricted. So like there's kind of like some sort of like inflexibility with having to both Maridon in Regulation I.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah, because like the other pieces were like both supporting and also offensive pieces. So just in case you lost Maridon, you could still attack, but it was also built around supporting the Maridon. But now like you have to also build around supporting a Lunala or a Calyrex Ice Rider, you know?
Yeah. Granted, Calyrex Ice is such a good Pokemon on its own, but like Arubega was such a perfectly built team that it feels like you can't even like really swap anything out, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like I've seen
Yeah.
some teams try out Darker or like Chi-Yu or Hearthflame, though that one's the last one's pretty bad actually. Don't use that. But yeah, like
Don't shoot you.
yeah, it's just a generally strong team that I don't think it's possible to have like any impossible matchups with because you have the tools to beat everything in the game.
Oh.
It is quite frankly the perfect team for Reg G.
Yeah, but then like the metagame also changes because now you don't have to just deal with a Calyrex Ice. Now you have to deal with a Calyrex Ice and Kyogre, and it just makes a lot of your lines so different that I feel like Miraidon teams are still going to be having a lot of success, probably closer to like Worlds. But I do think that they just need to be a real boat right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this format's gonna be cyclical at NAIC or at Worlds? Like, since Rain won Portland and it beat the Screens team from Milwaukee, but then I think what beats the Rain teams is what's weak to Screens too. So it's gonna be like cyclical, I think.
Kind of like CSR Zama
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
being
look
pretty
at what
good. We
won
saw this set
Bologna.
versus Westy. Like what
Yeah,
won Bologna. So I'd not be surprised if we see a big finish from these really good Screens players like Darsh Patel, Joseph Garte. So yeah, I would not be surprised if we see a big finish from them.
yeah. Plus the screen still feels good even with the bad matchups now. Like I feel like the players are getting better, playing around the matchups.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially since like people are running offensive Grimstar like Gavin Michaels with like Sucker Punch, I think.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah, that's actually a good point. Oh, that's probably why it's there for like the anti stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Like say if we like
Yeah.
live
Being
for
on
Shadow
Star.
Rider and Wheezing, you could just like sucker punch it, and then you could also sucker punch like a lot actually.
I think it was in a way to kind of force pins on CSR, right? Because most CSR right now are Terror Dark. So being able to say, hey, either you're gonna get Sucker Punch or you're gonna get Spirit Breaks. Either way, like your CSR does not want to take. How much damage you guys think Spirit Break does into CSR? Because I ran the
Um,
calc earlier, it does 60%.
yeah,
Like
that seems about
you don't
average.
want to take too much of those.
Yeah.
You don't want to take another. You don't want to take two of those. You're dying, and then after life or recoil, you're gonna probably drop to like even probably like an Aqua Jet from Basket Legion. So I feel like
Or
that
just a
set
follow
just
up
fits
sucker
so well
punch,
in
yeah.
these ring teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Not if you Terror Dark.
It'd probably be
Yeah.
close. But definitely an Aqua Jet. Yeah, an Aqua Jet would
Yeah.
definitely pick up.
Yeah, that's just something always interesting to look at. Just the metagame as a whole. Um, Now we are also at this tournament. We did also see CSR Zama pick up again. We were talking about this last podcast about how it needs to be rebuilt, right? And
Yeah.
we saw Aaron Brock and Montana Mott. Aaron Brock take it up to a top 4 with the Ting Lu team that I think did pretty well at Utrecht, right? It started out 8-0 and then went 8-3.
Yeah, that's just been popping up at pretty much
Yeah,
every
I think,
tournament. Like always having a really good Swiss run, doing deep into cut, and then not winning the whole thing. Wait,
yeah.
did Montana
And
also
then
have Tinglu?
Montana
No.
Mott
No.
had Rillaboom over Ting which we're going to be talking about this team a little bit later, whenever we go over Bologna. But yeah, this is a team originally built by Humahara for Japan for the Japan Nationals qualifier, and he unfortunately did not make it in, but the team kind of popped up a lot because it was dominating that tournament as a whole.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, by the way, if you hear a radio in the background, I'm not sure why they have it on so early, but my brother's friends will be here soon. So, yeah, my bad if y'all hear that. I can't record in my room, so kind of cooked.
Yeah.
Wait, did Japan Nats already finish?
Japan
Japan
Nats are
Nats
going to be
qualifiers.
the Japan Nats qualifiers finished a couple weeks ago, but Japan
Yeah.
Nats is going to be after NAIC.
I thought there was
It's going to be the
something
week after
Japan
NAIC.
happening this weekend. Like, I
No,
swear.
no, no. This
There
weekend it was I think Hong Kong Basketball
Hong
League.
Kong Basketball League, which I don't think
Okay.
the teams are out for that, right?
I'm gonna check
Yeah, it's only
Liberty
the
right
teams
now.
that people have publicly released on like their Twitter.
It's not on
Okay.
Liberty. No, I checked earlier.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I guess we got to
also,
talk about
people were
that
saying
next
that
time.
Caradon was going to be a fraud after it had. Yeah. People were saying that Caradon was a fraud after Utrecht. After I'm pretty sure Zero made top cut, if that's correct.
Wait, did none actually
Yeah.
make top cut?
Oh yeah,
Hold
yeah, it
on.
didn't.
Yeah, I don't think any
Yeah, it
top
didn't.
cut
It didn't.
Utrecht. Yeah,
Yeah,
so we're
Yeah.
no.
seeing these.
Wow.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, these Caradon Weezing teams have really did take over this weekend with Zhe Zhang getting second and Justin Wong getting sixth. And then, of course, the Caradon's biggest believer, Giovanni Kishka, with a top 8 with it as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Also,
yeah,
another
Yeah, I
thing.
find it
maybe.
interesting how Geo's like.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Over.
Me. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I find Giovanni is like not like bad kind of weird player, but like good kind of weird because this build the build he's on, I think it's been around since like day one of the format, and I'm surprised how he's so consistent with it, like with all the meta changes.
So this is a concept I like to talk about a lot is comfort over like the meta call. Because we see Giovanni Kishka here. I don't think he's ever won a tournament, if I'm correct on that. But he's always
Yeah, I
so
don't.
consistent. So I feel like this is a very much you're gonna do well if you're using a team for like multiple months, but you're not gonna be winning a tournament, right?
Yeah. I totally
Unless
agree.
your name's Riley.
Yeah. How did Riley win? Wait, did Riley? Oh wait, he won some event undefeated with that team
Um,
that everyone knew
he
about.
won monetary, I believe.
Monterey, not monetary, bro. It's Monterey. Yeah,
Monetary.
with the Iron Crown Maraudon, Terra Ghost Maraudon. I honestly don't know how he did
Yeah.
it. This team's been around since like last run of Reg G, like NAIC or something, and he's still winning.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
good on him. He pulled off the first undefeated regional win. So, congrats.
That's not the
No,
first, but
that's
Or
not the
first in
first.
recent times, at least.
wasn't
No,
Bruno who got one?
Fortaleza. Yeah, Fortaleza Regionals with Bruno Rebello
For
in Regulation G
wait,
Part
Yeah.
2.
well, how many rounds was that? Okay. So just before,
It was 8. Yeah. Um. Yeah, just something kind of interesting to talk about. Top cuts is always fun.
Yeah, top cuts are like where most of the meta
And
changes
Pagos.
happen.
All right, and then final team in top 8 that I want to talk about is Lenda Wells, Pagos team. Anyway, so is there any other teams in top cut you want to talk about?
Okay, there is something I
I
want
think,
to go
yeah, I
over
think,
like
hey,
real quick. The 6th and 9th place are people who do go to my locals, and may I say, especially if the 6th place, Justin won with the Dondozo Tatsugiri stuff. I'm surprised he could do it because he is not that amazing, but
Whoa!
congrats to
whoa,
him.
Whoa! Put that out of
bro.
mod.
Also, why isn't
Maybe
Hey,
it's just maybe this was his tournament.
Yeah, this was his run. I got to see him
maybe it's just his
yesterday.
tournament. We forgot to talk about this. Kerry D'Ortona's build for this tournament had a couple of top cuts that we should have went over. So it's Kyogre, Calyrex Ice, Iron Jugulus, Rillaboom, Urshifu, Amoonguss. I think his team is really good. It's got this nice balance mode while also having an absolute blow up mode with Kyogre, Iron Jugulus, and Urshifu. The Life Orb Urshifu is so strong.
Yeah, it's basically like ban,
I
but
feel
you
like
can
it's
protect.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Didn't
um,
this team also like originate off of like Japan Nats qualifiers from like I think
no, it originated from
Oh.
Andrew Figueroa's, but then
oh yeah.
Harry added a Rillaboom after he saw what Andrew lost to.
Wait, what did they originally have over Rillaboom?
And they originally had Landorus, Life Orb Landorus,
Oh,
Mm.
okay, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
and then the Urshifu was Mystic Water.
I think Mystic Water might
Um,
be better, but close combat Calyx are helped a lot by Life Orb, like a lot, a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Some other teams I want to talk about. Emilio Forbes is back, everybody.
Wait, where
After
is he?
he's had a couple, he's at 13th place.
13th. Okay.
Emilio Forbes had arguably the best 2023 season out of anybody that year. He got ninth place at San Diego, fifth place at Orlando, first place at Fresno, and then got 10th place at Worlds that year, I believe.
Yeah.
Just an
Oh, yeah. That
absolute structure.
not
Yeah.
exactly
But
destruction, but at least
unfortunately,
consistency.
he I think across that entire season he only lost 8 sets, if that's
Wait, did he not go
which
to
is
that many
insane.
events?
He went to 4, but he only lost 8 sets in total.
Wow. Okay. Also, about his team, Brick Break Chan Pao, we called it.
Yeah, we were referencing Emilio's team in the last podcast about Brick Break Ogrepon. I just think that this is a I'm gonna be so honest here. I don't think that this is good. I think Emilio Forbes is just such an incredible player, and yeah.
I
Back to
disagree.
what I
It
was
gives
saying. After
Pao.
the Worlds,
It gives Pao like a fighting
no,
move to hit Ensign, Zama, and other Pao. So it's like it's good in these situations, but for the screens, it's also good. You get what I mean?
yeah, I like Brick Break, but I don't like this team as like a whole. It feels very weak to Calyrex Ice.
Oh, I
Um,
agree.
yeah.
Dude, what
Another
did
thing I want to talk
Emilio
about
lose
was
to?
after his 2023 incident with Matty Morgan and the disconnect. He took a very long break off of EGC. He took an almost 6 month break, came back for EUIC, came back for NAIC that year, did like all right. I think he day two'd NAIC, didn't quite day two of EUIC, and then yeah, just and then he came back for Sacramento this year, got I want to say top 64, went 1-4
Yeah,
at EUIC this year, and then he's finally back to this like very high performing dominance that Emilio Forbes is known
yeah,
for.
yeah. What we associate with the name. Also, by the way, what happened with Matty Morgan and him? Like disconnect? Like was it a match?
Uh, so in top 16 there was this mass disconnect causing sudden death. Emilio Forbes would have won the set
Oh
based off
wait,
what was
wasn't he
told.
running the Bramblegas or something?
He was running Bramble Gas that tournament.
Yeah,
He would
that's
have
why I
won the set,
remember.
and that would have put him into like top 8. He would have put him into top 8, which would have been his second Worlds top 8 ever. And then he actually probably could have won Worlds that year,
Yeah, I honestly
but the
agree.
disconnect happened.
Bramblegas was low key the call. But again, the mass
Yeah,
disconnect,
because
really unfortunate.
yeah, but there's just nothing you can do. It's over 2 years now.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so now I feel like we're fine to talk about Bologna, and let's let our goat Wilfred start the conversation about this.
Bologna. We saw a high influx of Coward, Shadow Rider, and Zamazenta. I feel like this was like very predicted because EU is a very balance centered region and CSR Zama is like the most balance centered like restricted pair.
Yeah.
Yep,
Something I
agreed.
would like to point out is that every single team inside of top 8 either had Calm Mind Pagos, Calm Mind Lunala, or CSR Zama.
Yeah, so basically it's just all balance. And if we
I
go
want to talk about the team that
down,
won. Yeah, if
I
you
mean,
go down.
there's Karai Lunala. I know that also had TM.
yeah, that's
Yep.
CM
Wow.
Lunala
It's
for
just
some reason. I do not like CM Lunala on Crydon teams. I feel like wide guard is needed to protect Crydon, but that's personally my take.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
Redguard's like
the first thing I want to talk about here is the team that ended up winning. Matteo
It's Velada.
Valete. I think
It's
Velada.
Velada. Yeah,
Sorry,
you
I
can look at
clicked
my
that.
screen.
Yeah. With the squad of Ensign, Shadow Rider, Chempao, Moongiz, Zamazenta, and Raging Bolt. As someone who ran a similar squad last regulation, I think that this is just a really solid team that Mateo was just able to play super well and take it all the way to like a win.
Agreed.
And I feel like there are some quite niche techs here. Like we have the Assault Vest Ensign, which, as we saw inside of the finals, was actually very good inside of the mirror, being able to beat Ruben's Chen Pao and Rillaboom. And
Yeah, I
then
feel like it's just the win con for
the
the team
Cal-
somehow.
yes, somehow inside of the Zamazenta matchup instance the win con.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then we have the Shadow Rider with Life Orb. Life Orb is, in my opinion, the best set. Just the ability to say, "Hey, Astral Barrage hurts," and just go through a team is so good. And then we have the taunt on the Chempao, which, if you look at this team, is actually kind of weak to like Trick Room.
Oh yeah,
So
very
just being
weak
able to
to
say, "Hey,
the
I'm just gonna shut
Ice
you
Rider
down right now,"
stuff.
and it's also a good way of shutting down Leech Seed Ice Rider, which we've talked about very extensively last podcast.
A lot.
And then we have this team's also not great into Amoonguss because with the Assault Vest being on the instant, it only has one Spore immunity. So being able to say, "Hey, I have one more," is very nice out of these kind of matchups.
Yeah, I agree.
Back whenever I used to play a team similar to this, similar to this, that had Urshifu over Zamazenta. I always kind of felt like I have to play so carefully around Amoonguss. So having that taunt is probably a very smart call. Amoonguss has Paw and Puff, Zamazenta, Terra Dragon, Body Press, Terra Water's the best bet. And then we have this Raging Bolt with Magnet. We see Magnet start popping up a lot recently because this metagame is so pivot heavy, and Life Orb's already taken by your Shadow Rider, so you're just saying, hey, electric moves are pretty good. Let's just start clicking more of them. And it has Terra Electric to boost his electric moves even more. And what it also does is boosts inside Sun are so nice. Being able to say it's effectively a choice specs boost onto your electric.
Mhm.
That's all I gotta say about that team.
Okay, let me go scroll down here, see like what's the meta looking like. Pretty much it's what we expect from the event, like pretty much all balance. All balance, a few screens here and there. The highest placing Cryon Wheezing was 20th, so yeah. Let me go through here. Actually, one thing I do want to talk about because it's something that intrigued me. Where is it? It is somewhere up here. Hold on. Give me one sec. Actually, whatever. I'll just pull it up on the Top Gun Explorer because Polkadot is way harder to see. Okay, Roland
What's also kind of interesting
Wintercon,
about the
Torterra. Why is there a Torterra? Like, you already have Cox Ice Rider. Like, yeah, it's not running Leech Seed. Like, why? Like, can any of you guys explain to me Torterra?
I cannot. Wilfred,
wow.
can you?
Let me look. Let me look at it.
Yeah,
Then
the team's up on my screen.
defense boost. I mean, it's a ground type, which is good to Miraidon, and like I think Raging Bolt too.
Oh yeah,
Then you
same
get the
screen as
defense
Bolt.
boost from.
The seed.
Wait, oh, it has shell armor. Hold up, let me see its stats.
It's like
All right,
somewhat
it has
Vizdev.
95, 105, 85 defenses.
Okay, so maybe it's used like as a
I
defensive check to Urshifu, and then it could like do big damage. Because the Urshifu threaten the Calyrex Ice a lot, but they don't threaten Torterra as much. Maybe? Personally, I just give Torterra
I'm
Wide
someone
Guard.
who like knows a lot about these. Like,
I just have no, I have no clue. I mean,
I'm
Terra
having
Water.
troubles. Go
I
ahead,
mean, I
Wilfred.
think maybe like Calyrex Ice Kyogre with Terra Water. maybe.
Like, I'm gonna be so honest. I'm trying struggling how this is not just worse than Chestnut. Um,
It kind of just is. Like, it has
I
ground
mean, you get rid of your fighting
coverage.
typing, which is pretty nice.
Oh yeah, and no fighting typing. Yeah,
Oh, it's
like
on
you can.
screens. That
Yeah,
changes nothing. That changes nothing about what I know about it.
yeah. You could just give Leech Seed to the Calyx Ice Rider and then run a better Mon. I
run an
mean,
actual Pokemon.
yeah. Like I know Torterra gets Wide Guard. I'm pretty sure. Like, well, Wide Guard. You could at least give it
Torterra's not
that.
like it.
And no, it does not get wide guard.
Oh, I swear it does. It does. It does. Yeah.
Oh, it does.
Yeah. Look
Does.
him. Actually,
That's still another thing that Chestnut can do. That's still
yeah.
another thing that Chestnut can do, and probably do it better.
Yeah. It could definitely do that, but at least give it that if you want to be checked to Kyogre or Ice Rider. Because at least you're always immune to their moves, and you don't have to Terra.
Yeah. This is just like the DJ Khaled meme where it's like the "What does bro do?"
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It honestly feels like he just took the Darsh Patel team. Like, I'm
It made it
sorry, but
worse.
that's just kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
I
I
mean,
agree. I mean, I guess I could go find
It's
his,
like you
like,
took the Darsh Patel team and you added a. You took the Darsh Patel team and you added a VGC chatter spin. Um,
oh, yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, VGC chatters. Am I right? Weren't we all VGC chatters at one point?
MRA. We all were.
Wait,
no.
Wilfred, were you?
I want to
I just
talk
hop
about
straight
the.
into Discord.
Okay, yeah, but I know me and Connor were. Definitely.
I want to talk about the Ruben Gianzini team that made finals as well. I want you guys to play a little game called Spot the Difference. Tell me the amount of differences that are on these two teams from the first place and the second place team outside of the Rillaboom over Ensign.
Oh, 11. 11.
Amoongus Terra.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah,
It's just
which is not a lot. Like,
this is a great example. This is a great example of like the just because teams are the same six does not mean that their sets are does not mean that their sets are the same.
yeah, it's not the same six, but
And
it's a similar point, just different fake out mon.
Ruben actually started out X1, went all the way to X1 into finals. This would have been him defending
I thought that was
his.
Mateo.
That was Mateo.
Yeah, no, that was Mateo who started X and 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, Mateo actually won, I think.
Eh,
Yeah, they
Wait.
won 10 sets in a row. I was referencing Ruben had a
Oh no, they didn't win 10
Ruben.
sets in a row.
I was
yeah,
referencing Ruben had like an
15,
X1
6,
start through
no,
Swiss.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Oh, like
Yeah.
in the top cut. Okay. Wait.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
How
he
come
started
he?
out
Oh
X1.
yeah.
They
Oh,
both.
because he lost to Mateo. Yeah, Pokeda.
Yeah. Ruben being able to defend his home region, which is almost being able to defend his home tournament, which would have been the third time this happened this season, if I'm not mistaken. We had
Marco and Wolf.
defending Marco and MDB both
Oh,
defending.
MDB. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
MDB defending Stockholm, Wolfie defending. Not Wolfie, Marco defending
Yeah.
LAIC. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Marco, he
So again,
placed. He didn't he only go 5-3 at this event. Oh my god, my PC is not
he did
Yeah.
not
running.
make day two.
Yeah.
He did not make day two. I
Yeah.
believe this is the first time he's not made day two in I don't know how long, but it's been a very long time.
Yeah, that's absolutely crazy.
I
Like,
want to
I get
say
we all
since
have bad
like
runs every now
you.
and then, but 5-3, that goes to show that Tropicos is mid.
I
Boy,
mean,
this
he
team
used
is
Trappers
so
and Red
insane.
G. I
This
feel
team
like
is so
this team was only
incredible.
built to counter other restricteds,
It
like nothing
was.
else.
Oh my god, I didn't
But
realize
that
there
it
was a
doesn't
second
have any
restricted.
synergy at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so the plan synergy
Yeah.
here is you give it Electric Seed. You can Snarl if you want. You could Volt Switch into Incineroar so you can start pivoting. And then what you call and then like you can Terra Shift to remove the terrain whenever you want, then just get it back with full turns. That's also why the steel roller treads. But treads just feels out of
Yeah.
place on this.
I, yeah.
Yeah. This just feels like a worse
I
version
mean,
of Pio Pero's team, which we're gonna get into a little bit later.
yeah, I think
There's
Iron
like
Treads is like an immediate damage option that pairs well with Miraidon.
This is
Yeah.
a team I've been wanting to talk about for a minute now. The Teo team, Masut, I'm butchering that by the way.
Yeah, it's Theo
Tail
Um,
time.
time.
Teo time.
Tail time.
I'm
That's
so
crazy.
bad with pronunciations.
Me
Tea
too,
time.
bro.
Um, Rillaboom and Miraidon on the same team. What are we doing to you?
I mean, I don't think it's any different from like double Tapu from Sun and Moon, but like with your restricted,
Yeah, it's different when it's
the difference
restricted.
between this and
weird.
Double Tapu last season was like Tapu Fini did not need to be inside of
Last
Misty
season,
Terrain. 2 generations ago, whatever, Wilfred.
Yeah.
Um, the difference between this was that Tapu Fini did not need to be inside of Misty Terrain because it did not get a boost off its fairy moves in Misty
Mhm.
Terrain. While Tapu Koko was a bit more like, you could like Volt Switch around with Tapu Koko more reasonable, very, very reasonably. So it had a bit less anti-synergy. While Rillaboom has like Grassy Glide, it likes the recovery, and then Miraidon really wants the electric terrain. So it just
I
feels
mean, I don't think
very
it really wants it. I mean, it's a Scarf from Rhydon, so it's not main. It's not main focus is damage. So
okay.
like,
Yeah, like
also it's like it could be a Snarl bot, Volt Switch.
yeah, basically just
It's
the
also
same thing as
it's very
Marco's
nice.
team.
It's very nice to have the terrain though, Wilfred. Wait, you agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
Also
Miraidon.
nice,
gives you
yeah.
more terrain control if you're like fighting in DD.
Okay, you're right about
Wilfred,
that.
when's the last time you saw an Indeedee?
Uh,
Actually, just for okay, like each Bulpy, can you check how many Indeedees were how many what's the highest placing Indeedee?
Indeed, I don't even okay, there's 14 Indeedies in top 256. The highest placing one was Hard Trick Room.
only 3 in day 2 is crazy.
Yeah. And
Top
they're all on
64.
teams
Yeah,
that you
Wilfred.
wouldn't expect. Like Zashi and Lunala with Indeedee, Groudon CSR with
I mean, it's
Indeedee.
hard trick room.
What?
There's hard trick room.
Okay, yeah, that you expect,
Hard trick
yeah.
room is the top.
That team is disgusting. I played it on ladder earlier today. It is disgusting.
There's only one good
Um,
Hard Trick Room team in this format.
so yeah, it's just also Grimmsnarl with double fake out. Ah, ah,
Oh,
hurting me. And I also heard that this Ogerpon was super physically bulky. It was super bulky. Follow me, Ogerpon. So it's just kind of felt like you were going all in on like your Lunala,
Yeah.
which I don't like those kind of teams, and I don't think either of you guys do as well.
Yeah, I don't like those either because like I think this Wolf put it best in his Worlds video. You're putting too many eggs in one basket. If you lose that basket, you're kind of cooked.
Yeah, yeah, that's the best way to put it. This next team, Lorenzo Salvestrini, boring Shadow Rider, has Clefairy with Encore. That's kind of cool. Um, by the way, there are 8 Shadow Riders on my mirrors on stream during this
Yeah, that's
tournament.
basically all which
oh my,
the
that's
stream
so.
was because it's EU, so it's all
Yeah,
balanced.
Yeah.
All
it's either
balanced.
that or Pogos. The team that got 5th was actually a cool take. I think this was originally built by Diego Aguirre, with the
Oh,
Life Orb Shadow Rider, Urban Hearth Flame, Zamazenta, Raging Bolt, Whimsicott, Chenpao. It has taunt on Chenpao over Ruination. This team they're throwing. Um, yeah.
And
It
I
has
I
0
kind
mean,
of
I can
inaccurate
see
moves,
see
it.
why you want taunt over ruination.
It's
but
because like everything's weak
yeah,
to
it has
see IR besides Zama, which even then like that shouldn't be your only way to beat CIR. They have substitute on CSR. What are they doing? Yeah, give it Ruination because if the only
yeah.
time they go for Trick Room, you could just
No,
substitute
but like,
and then you get a free Astro Barrage.
Yeah.
no, but like, let's say the CIR is paired with like Kyogre, then you're taking one hit. Then
Then you just Ruination the Kyogre and
Was
just double it.
the
also
Whimsicott
like
having fake
ruination
tears
still has the
is
mischance.
the Whimsicott having fake tears is a I call it greeting instead of a format, as we saw a lot of these Calyrex ices have started to drop the
Clear
clear
Amulet.
amulet. A lot of them have been starting to run either Life Orb or um leftovers, not Life Orb, Nevermount Ice. So being able to say, hey, I'm gonna fake Tears Astro Barrage you. If you're gonna Terra, you're still gonna take 70%. Like, it's also with Life Orb Shadow Rider, you could go fake Tears plus Psychic, and I believe that can KO some Zamazenta does.
It
So
can.
like
It
that's
can.
just
I think that
yeah.
Okay, I could pull it up right now.
What are you gonna say, Wilfred?
I think Fake Tear is also really good because like Koraidon and Calyrex Ice are starting to drop Clear Amulet with like Life Orb Koraidon and like Never Melt Ice Calyrex Ice Rider. And so that makes it like really splashable in this format, unlike last format, where the main thing you want to deal damage to is usually holding Clear Amulet. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Fake Tears
agree.
is like really good here. Like
And also, by the way,
Also having it on Raging Bolt.
the psychic calc, it always KOs the most common Zama spread right now, which is sadly the Michael
Yeah.
Couch World stuff.
the most
Okay. And then also with Raging Bolt, Raging Bolt having a great advantage of taking advantage of fake tears. It has such a good offensive typing, being able to hit almost everything for neutral outside of Felix, Metacall.
I wish Steelix was in this game. I'd low key use it. I'd low key use it.
Loki Raging Bolt counter. Um, um so yeah, just being able to say, hey, Raging Bolt's already so strong. Let me add a effectively a nasty plot boost to it. And now your opponent is like just their opponent are just starting to drop inside of one hit. And it's like
Yeah.
you can't really survive the tailwind whenever you're taking this much damage. So yeah. And the taunt on the Chempao, I believe, is for like trick room teams, because if you look at this, they're weak to trick room. Like if your opponent gets a couple turns right with their Calyrex Ice, like this is very bad into this team.
Yeah, very bad. Like, as long as you're able to avoid the sucker
Yeah.
punches, the encores, get around substitute, get around wide guard, they just kind of win. So, being able to prevent the trick room is just very nice.
Which is that's not a super like demanding thing to deal with if you're playing Calyrex Ice, because you're used to like counter teams. Or like people
Yeah,
having lines into you.
most of them do, and yet Calyrex Ice still wins events.
Rest in peace, my UIC team. The team that got sixth place was kind of based off Marco's team in a way, being Francesco Piaperas. Francisco is or Francesco? Do you know? Wilfred?
Francesco,
Francesco.
sadly.
Okay. Francesco, being able to with the Terapagos with Electric Seed, Sinistcha being able to re-heal up your Paga so you don't need the Rillaboom. Incin being Pagos' best friend, Iron Shreds and Murata giving it a nice fast mode, and then Iron Valiant is actually very good inside of like the mirrors, because you can Spirit Break your other Pagos and the CSR, and you also can disable if they lock into like an offensive.
Yeah. And then they just can't do anything. Then you could just like either pin it down or focus on the partner.
Yeah.
Okay, any last thoughts you guys want to add to Bologna?
I
I
mean,
think
yeah,
Porygon 2 is interesting.
Oh yeah, I pull that up. Where is this thing? Alessio Fuchsia.
yeah.
I think it was on stream, but like I think I missed it. I was sleeping.
I missed it too. Yeah. Not sure why
I
it's
don't think
here.
this is on stream.
I'm pretty sure it's just a Calyrex Shadow counter. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's basically about it.
It actually solos it actually solos CSR Zama, which I think is hilarious.
Wait,
Because with
does
Terra
it?
Flying, you're not doing that much damage with Heavy Slam. You can just out recover it, and then you can just do Shadow Balls at CSR.
Wait, yeah, I kind of can.
Oh, then like the Cornerstone has taunt over like the grass move. Like I think I've been a firm believer that grass move is overrated on Ogre Pond Cornerstone this regulation, and taunt is way better.
Yeah, it was so overrated. It definitely helped you inside of our set, Wilfred.
Uh, wait, did you guys
Anyway,
play like recently?
we played at Milwaukee. I won.
Okay, that's why you bring it. Of course, bro.
Of course. So yeah, I mean, there's not much to go over with Bologna. Every single team was the same. I really hate watching EU. EU is
Me
the most
too.
boring region. EU hate everybody. Woo.
Yeah,
I
Latin
want to see
America the
Hoon on
goat.
stream.
Yeah, Antarctica the goat.
Actually, wait, hold on.
um,
Didn't EU have a Giratina on
I
stream
feel
like a while ago?
yeah, I feel like
Yeah, oh yeah, that
EU.
was like regulation. Wait, wasn't it regulation G
Yeah,
or?
peak regulation.
All right, one of the last things I want to talk about is we saw such a dominant Kyogre performance at Portland. I believe there was 5 Kyogre in top cut of Portland, if I'm not mistaken. And then we saw only 2 in top cut of Bologna, but they did not make very deep runs. Both of them losing inside their top 32.
Wait, wait. Okay.
Westy
Yeah.
Liam, my goat, my glorious king, and then I don't even want to try and pronounce the 18th place
Jacopa
Kyogre.
Akapo.
Damascus.
I just we butchered that. With Scarf, with Scarf Kyogre, I actually played this team on ladder yesterday. I don't think it's very good, everybody.
Yeah, I don't think it's good
I think its
either.
main goal is just getting KOs immediately.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the heck this does into the James Evans team, like the Wheezing, Raging Bolt, Koraidon stuff.
Oh, this just looks like it just has like an auto loss because like
I think
Zacian doesn't get
I
online.
think you just pray with Landorus.
Yeah. No, because
Yeah.
Landers just drops to a Flare Blitz. Um,
Yeah, everything here drops to a flare list besides the Kyogre and the bear.
Also, we saw Victor Medina in top 32. Oh god, he has Smeargle. Everybody, pack it up. Pack it up, everybody. This format's done.
No, Victor
There's a
Victor
viable
Medina
Smeargle team.
always runs Smeargle, so don't be surprised. Like, it's kind of just a Victor Medina thing,
That
you
is
know?
not true.
Yeah,
That is
didn't he
not
run
true.
an
That is
NAIC?
straight up not true. No.
No.
He ran Screamtail.
Hold on.
Didn't Smeargle
Um,
win like the first VR of Regulation I?
no. It got finals of the second.
Hmm.
Oh, wait, I was thinking about Eduardo Cunha. I was thinking about a different guy.
Well, that's also. I think that's Oguara's only second time using Miracle. Um,
Yeah.
um, nice one, Kate. Nice one, Bolty. Nice one.
Yeah.
Um,
We're all fumbling today.
yeah, we saw. I remember Victor Medina's actually had an insane season. I believe in Regulation H, he had a finals at Lille. He had a top cut at Dortmund, top 8 at Gdansk. I think he also top cut Stuttgart, and then he got finals of LAIC. So truly, I think he's number 2 on the leaderboard, just behind Marco Silva.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually, is he?
just
We can go
truly
check,
a
but
dominant season.
yeah, very good season from
He is
Victor.
second place.
Okay, okay.
I would not be surprised if we see one of the 2 Mario brothers, as I like to call them, winning this year's World
What?
Championships.
Uh
Antonio, now they're not Italian, but Antonio and Victor, I call them the Mario brothers.
oh, okay. Okay, let's see. What's next on the
yeah, we
topic
saw
list?
Antonio have Antonio had a top 16 at Worlds last year, and then Victor also had I believe he had a top 32 Worlds in 2024.
Hold on, let me go look at this guy. I have.
Never mind. He got 33rd. He got 33rd.
Oh,
Unfortunate.
Okay, that's why I don't. That's why I don't remember him. I was like, who are you guys talking about here? Like who is this guy? Like
Victor Medina.
33rd. No. Oh wait, I thought you said something about Antonio guy or whatever. Oh,
Oh,
Antonio
Antonio Sanchez.
Sanchez. Yeah.
You got top. He
Okay.
won Liverpool last year. Top 8 at NAIC. Truly a dominant season last year, but he's had like alright performances. He's not had like a big one yet this season, so I'll not be surprised if we see him have a big one at NAIC as well.
Mm-hmm. Can my
hmm.
computer run it any faster? My Pokédad keeps freezing. Okay. Anyways, let's see what's next on the list. Oh wait, yeah, one thing I definitely want to talk about before the video ends. What do y'all think is gonna be the call for NEIC?
All right, I think the team that's going to be winning NAIC is going to be a team that's going to be very consistent. I don't think we're going to be seeing a Shadow Riders Alba win NAIC.
Yeah.
I feel like that is too speed tie reliant for it to be able to win a big tournament.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, I'd expect either a big performance from a Ride-On type of team or like a Calyx Ice Kyogre kind of team.
I think I'm expecting. This is a long shot, but I'm expecting one of the Gen 3 legendaries to make it to finals.
So you're
Or
predicting
um
Kyogre.
Yeah, Kyogre. I'm
or
talking about Kyogre.
or a horse. No. A bike or a dog making finals too.
Yeah,
And my
obviously.
prediction is a bike, a dog,
No
a horse.
horses.
One of the three making final.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
no
like that's
horses
most of
though.
the format. Like most teams have one of those.
That's like, yeah.
It's like saying a coin's gonna land on
I,
either
I
heads or tails. Like obviously.
So I'm gonna say this right
I think
now. I don't think
screens.
Terapagos is ever gonna. I'm gonna say this right now. I don't think Terapagos is ever gonna be winning a major outside of Japan. I'm just gonna say this right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think it is a strong enough Pokemon. Especially the call. I can see Choice Specs maybe winning one. The Calm Mindset, in my opinion, is way too weak for it to be able to win a major like this. It's always gonna be the top 8 team. It's never gonna be a winning team.
Yep, I 100%
I'm
agree.
tired of seeing these on ladders. Stop playing Calm Mind Pagos, please.
Honestly, just
I don't want to
encourage
sit here for
them
20
because they're
minutes.
bad.
Let's click Calm Mind.
Just encourage
Yeah.
them because they're not good.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I think Piopera is pretty alright.
No, I meant the Pokemon. I meant the Pokemon. Yeah, the turtle.
Yeah. In my opinion, if Piopera picked up good Pokemon, he probably would have won. He probably would have won this regional. He is a good enough player to do that, and he's shown time and time again how good he is with these very consistent teams. Like we saw him last regulation with Rain having a top 16 at LAIC and then a finals at Stuttgart. So yeah, Piopera, what are you doing, bro?
Hasn't Pio Peril been running like Tropicos the whole time? I remember seeing, was it his name in like a bunch of
Yes.
ERs? Yeah, so I feel like it's what his
Yeah,
comfort
Piopera.
is. Yeah. So I guess if there's a
Yeah.
person to win with Tropicos, it'd probably be Francesco, but still, nah.
The person who's going to be winning with Pagos was going to be Humahara, but now he isn't qualified for Worlds. So
Wait, why?
We let this
Yeah.
happen.
He missed out on the Japan national qualifier.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm so
He got
sad
9th
that we're
place at
not gonna
Worlds
have another
last year.
Pagos. Yeah, so sad that Pagos
So
isn't gonna win
sad,
anything.
everybody. So sad.
Yeah, rip Bozo. Rip Bozo.
I think Humahara won last Japanese Nats with Pagos, right? And it was Meteor Beam Rock Polish.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Meteor
I want to
Beam
say that did happen.
balance.
Yeah.
Wasn't it
And so
Meteor
yeah,
Beam Rock Polish too?
yeah, it was Meteor Beam Rock Polish.
Weird set.
So yeah, I think a very consistent team is going to be winning NAIC. I don't think any team that's going to be relying on success is going to win NAIC.
Hey, you could see like something similar to Andrew Ding team pop up again. I feel like maybe that could work.
Yeah.
No, I think like Screens is gonna make its way to top 4 but lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds reasonable. Also, I feel like
I feel like
another good
a
call.
balanced Calyx Ice is going to win this year.
Yep, that you say that every time though.
Sure.
But at
I
least
do
it
say
won
that every time.
NAC.
It's the best archetype. It won NAIC last year. Thank you, Backon.
Is it the best archetype right now? I want to disagree, but it's up there. It's up there. Actually, Mariah on
And
Ice
we saw
Rider is
Westy
probably top.
Liam. We saw Westy Liam have a 17th place, having his first like real breakout tournament.
Somehow, I thought he
With
did
Yeah.
better at
I
something
think it's pretty
else.
deserved.
He had a day 2 at, was it Lille? I want to say.
Yeah.
Was this
Those
day
are the
2?
right H1s.
I remember he brought P2 Ursa. That's what I remember. And then yeah, I feel like a very strong Calyx Ice player is probably going to be winning an AIC. is my take. So place your bets on Justin Burns. Place your bets on Juan Salerno. Place your bets on
Not Justin Burns.
um.
No.
Has Justin
Why
Burns
not
made an
Justin
appearance
Burns?
yet?
As Justin Burns, he top cut Atlanta. He's flight from Milwaukee got canceled.
Oh,
Oh, that's why I haven't seen him pop up recently. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah.
I mean,
I want to see his couch ice cook. He's the
he
best
was the
couch ice
most
player from Soldier Field.
he is the most dominant Galaxy player in my opinion. He's had a top four. He had top four at Indy, top eight at LA, top eight at NAIC, and then he had a strong performance at not UIC at Atlanta. So I would not be surprised if he goes on to win NAIC.
Mm-hmm. Do you think how many Japanese players do you think will be going to NAIC to try to get like the top four invite?
All right, the I know Shohei's going and I know Naoto is going. Wilfred, how many other Japanese players who are going?
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
he doesn't know any of them.
I
Yeah.
mean, there might be some that like failed the qualifiers that might just go for some reason. I mean,
Yeah, just to try to get
Well,
that
they would have
invite.
to. I know Naoto is one of the ones who did it. Tomoyuki Yoshimura is one of the ones who did it. Is doing that, I think.
Yeah.
The ice table, big, big atrocity. They're not qualifying for it. All right. What's the next topic?
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a brief one because there's gonna be something happening in my backyard soon. I know it's gonna get really loud. But what is your least favorite format or your favorite format?
Okay, so out of the formats that I've played seriously for competitive, my least favorite format had to have been the end of Regulation F. I think that is the worst format I've ever been a part of. It was absolutely some of the worst prep I've ever had to do was Orlando Regionals. Just the fact every single team was so slow, was so boring to play. It had to be my least favorite. And you just couldn't get creative because there was too much.
Honestly, I disagree. I feel like it allowed for more creativity because if you found like a good like wall breaker to these standard balance teams, you could have done really well. Like that's why I think at EOIC like there's an Ogie Dogie that made top eight and then another one won a special event. I feel like that's one of the better checks to like these like balance teams like Ensign, Rilla, Bolt kind of stuff. I feel like when I picked up like teams similar to that, like the format got better, just because you could actually play the game. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. I remember for Orlando, it was the worst thing I've ever been a part of was trying to find a team that was good into Calm Mind Bolt, Dozo, and also had a matchup into like Ting Dozo, and also had a matchup into these Icy Wind, Flutter, Dark Fu teams. Was
Okay,
some of the hardest prep I've ever had. It was so brutal.
yeah. Actually, when you put it like that, it does sound like a lot to prep for. It reminds me of Regulation H, honestly, with like how many good archetypes there were, and Direclaw.
Because like there weren't that many like good archetypes. That's another reason why I hate that format. There weren't that many good archetypes to prep for inside of Regulation F, but there's so many variants of the good archetypes. I could count on like I could count on I probably could name 10 Calm Mind Bolt variations that did well out of it. So you had to have matchup prep it too.
Mm-hmm.
Just terrible. And then my favorite format, y'all are gonna flame me for this, is Regulation D.
No, I'm not
Just so
defending
much
you.
fun. I really like Amogus balance. It is my favorite kind of balance, and that was just such a strong format for it. Urshifu was not as dominant as people think. Just learn counterplay people. It's not this hard. All the teams that did well at those tournaments were so much fun. Outside of a couple screen team that Top Cut Worlds. Well, like besides that, like there were so many cool teams from that regulation that I really wish we had more time with it.
Honestly, yeah, I feel like only two events with it is not enough. I think the reason why people don't like it as much is
We had three.
because, yeah, three, okay. But I think the reason why people don't like it as much is because going into Worlds, it was the first event of the tournament. That's the event most people played for Reg D. and so it was probably the most stressful prep of their lives. Because well, the meta was evolving so fast because there kind of was no tournaments, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that just put like a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Reg D wasn't that bad. Wilfred, what are your
Yeah.
favorite
Go back and play.
formats?
It's actually fun.
Yeah, like,
Huh?
okay, so Wilfred,
I
favorite,
think
least
I
favorite?
actually disliked Regulation H because it was really RNG volatile with like Sneasler, Dragonite. Then Archaludon was kind of like there, really bad mon. Then
If
also
it,
it was like the start of school, so like I couldn't really
yeah,
focus on it.
Oh, I definitely agree about that.
yeah. If it was not for Como, it would have mission. But Como was the goat.
Yeah, I
Then my
think,
favorite format.
yeah, favorite format.
Okay, so then I think I really liked hold up, let me look my builder.
What?
If it's your favorite, I don't think you should be need to remember by looking at your builder.
Oh,
Just so you guys know, Wilfred is a goldfish. He does not have any memory.
Regulation G. That
I
was
knew you were gonna
mid.
say that. Oh, mid. Yeah, I agree.
Reg F. Reg F was fine. I just didn't go to any events. I think my favorite was that. I think Regulation E though. It was
Interesting
really fun to
take.
team build for that one. Also, History and Arcanine went crazy. I love History and Arcanine.
Oh,
I
well,
hate
definitely agree
Hisuian
about
Arcanine.
that. Hisuian Arcanine is just like it's kind of like an offensive Incineroar. Like it does big damage while also having Intimidate. It was fun to play. I agree.
Rock Slide Flinch.
Not
I
that
really
part.
hate Rock Slide Flinch.
Yeah, I feel like RNG for me is kind of what determines the format. Like the reason why I hate Reg H and I so much is that there's so much volatility with the RNG. Like Dire Claw sleeps, crits, misses in
Speed ties.
Reg H, and then yeah, speed ties in Reg I. That is the worst thing ever. Like I don't think I could build a team that doesn't have a single bad speed tie. Like let's see the team I'm using right
So here's the
now.
thing is with
Like not my restricted speed tie anything, but the Ursula definitely does, which kind of sucks.
like I'm gonna tell you this right now. You probably should not have put that builder on the stream. Um, what I'm gonna be saying about this, there's you pick your battles here with this format. Either you say, hey, I'm gonna lose to speed ties and you pick CSR Zama, or you say, hey, I'm gonna lose to misses and you pick Grim Snarl stuff.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. Also, don't worry, the YouTube team cannot see my screen. They cannot see the NEIC tech.
I mean, I think
Why
since
is
I'm
there
not
a
going to
Cosmo on
NAIC.
my screen? Um,
Oh yeah, Cosmo.
Yeah, since I'm
Okay.
not going to NAIC, my goal for Worlds is like this by break. I just to like find the perfect comp
Yeah,
and play Minecraft.
I feel like cracking the
and play Minecraft.
meta. I feel like there's probably an answer to the meta, but it just needs to be found. Also, one interesting thing while I was doing research recently, at least in seniors division, nothing standard has won worlds. Like recently, at least. So like, is
Well,
there a
Ray, CSR
Ray,
balance,
was
CSR
I
balance question mark.
okay? Beside, wait, hold on. I swear there was something which was on there that was different. Hold on.
oh, he had a Moongus
Oh wait, what am I
and Covert
talking about?
Wilkinson.
That's
Those were the
literally
cool
just
stuff.
Wolf's team, but without the figure. Okay, never mind. What am I on? Okay,
It's the most boring team of all time. What do you mean? As
okay.
someone who played Ray at Worlds, this is the most boring. This is the most boring. Hey, I'm gonna play well. I don't talk about that set. Um,
Oh
Hey,
no, let's talk about it. Let's
Can you
talk
scroll
about it.
down to 10th place?
I was gonna win game one. I was gonna win game
Wowzers.
one, and then we had a disconnect, and then I won game two. And then I won game two, lost game three, and then I lost in sudden death.
Oh my god, it's sudden death. Okay, never mind. I feel bad for you. I know Worlds had a lot of those.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Round
feel like
world, round one. Sick.
yeah, Worlds always the place for disconnects. Either that or Los Angeles. I heard Los Angeles had a lot. I personally didn't experience any because for
Los
some
Angeles
reason,
had no power docks.
yeah, it was
Um,
dumb.
something I want to talk about was about my run specifically at Worlds. I played 4 Shadow Riders. Why?
You
I
had
played
single
one.
strike. You were
And
running
Farigiraf.
You're running
Oh,
Ariobega. You cannot use
I
you
know,
played
but
his
like,
Caloric Shadow as an excuse.
okay, but like, look at some of the teams that I lost to. We had look at Benjamin Pulser's team and tell me how that is all at all good.
Um, why is it Psychic Sea?
Farigiraf.
Oh, why is it Psychic Sea? But yeah, actually, Farigiraf is a
Why is
little
it
difficult
double
to position.
terrain?
Didn't this team win
Swords
Uchiwa
Dance
AZR?
Urshifu.
Okay,
Yeah, but it wasn't Psychic Seed or Sword Stance on Urshifu.
Benjamin Pulser's pace is on my screen right now.
Yeah, I know. The VR team does not
Oh yeah,
have Sword Stance.
oh yeah, didn't have
Like,
Baton Pass on Indeedee or something.
yeah, it did.
Yeah, I remember that because
I
it
don't
was
think it
kind
had.
of it was special.
Yeah, and
Oh,
if you
oops,
read
found
the
me.
Sung Jae-jong, hope if you find the Song Jae-jong team report, he talks about his matchup versus Sho Akiyama, who's running the exact same team as Ray. That matchup is not good for Song Jae. The Terra Fairy on Amoongus is so hard to deal with.
Okay, since what you're telling
And
me
then I
is
had the
Benjamin is
exact same
throwing.
matchup with Teddy. But the Ray with the Terra Fairy on Amoongus was so hard for the single strike
The
team to deal with.
Terraform Amoongus.
Yeah,
Because it's a direct call turn one.
Mm-hmm.
Because what they do is they just lead Calyrex Amoongus. I actually immediately stole game 2 just by Electro Drifting the Amoongus and Wicked blowing the Calyrex, and I just won immediately.
Oh wow, okay.
But then it's also like mind games that like favor. It's also like mind games that like favor them because like they could like switch out into Rillaboom and like Spore your Miraidon. Now you're so far behind, and then it's so hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And then I had the exact same matchup versus Teddy, which again, these all game down to game 3, which is sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope what you got Worlds like feels better as a format going in. Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reg I needs a lock in if it wants to be a good format. Because I swear, prep for that and going into Worlds is gonna be so horrible if it isn't.
Um, so yeah, here's my take on Worlds. If you guys want to know my take on Worlds prep, don't play VGC for the entire 2 months. Don't do it because the metagame's going to change so much even 2 weeks before Worlds. So why do you even care about the metagame? Why do you even care about the metagame 2 months before Worlds?
To practice reading.
Yeah, like if you're trying to improve on as a player, or you can improve
I
on an
mean,
archetype, or improve an archetype, that's one thing. But try and find the call for Worlds that early, and no, like you can like pay attention to Limitless
No.
tours and see how it's going, or like ladder, but that's about it.
no. This isn't Regulation D. This
Right,
isn't
I'm
Regulation
too used
D.
to Regulation D. Yeah.
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 Actually, is VR gonna do some stuff in between NAIC and Worlds? I feel like that could be a big factor in determining the metagame.
Probably.
There's always two tournaments. The Fede Campo team that Antonio Sanchez used to qualify for Worlds with, not qualify for Worlds, get top
Top
16 on Worlds
16,
with,
yeah.
won that VR tournament. And then Pio Perez VR team Marco ended up using to get top 16.
Okay, since what you're telling me is the call for Worlds is just to steal somebody's VR team.
The call for Worlds is not to play.
Yeah,
Is what the
not
call
play
for
then
Worlds.
steal team.
Yep. Steel
Yeah.
team get comfortable with it. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna run like Kasumi and Alphalug with a life orb, and then you're gonna see me make day 2. Trust.
Sure. I think that's probably the end of our podcast. Would you say?
Yeah, we went on for honestly
We got
longer than I wanted to, but you know what? We got some good conversation going. So of course, thank you to our guest, the Wilfred, for being on here.
I hate you, Wilfred.